So less than a week ago, 14 lawsuits were filed against GrubHub by its investors. First, let's cover the facts, then we will discuss. Let's get up, let's get gig ready. So there will be links to all my sources in the description below. I want to first cover the facts, and then I will throw my opinion out, which I can already tell you is not going to be a popular opinion, but I don't care. I love GrubHub. So, to make a really long story short, Uber made GrubHub an offer. Apparently, it was a fairly substantial offer. I guess GrubHub, you could say, discussed it and said nay. The offer included Matt Maloney not being CEO because Uber already has a CEO, and pretty much was going to completely reform or liquidate the company. In my opinion, Uber was strictly trying to buy up GrubHub to take out competition, and I'm basing that off of what they just did to Postmates. Okay, so here comes Just Eat Takeaway. Makes them an offer, and from what I understand, it was a little less substantial. Every article I've read fails to mention the exact amount. I think that the Just Eat Takeaway was a $7.3 billion amount, but however, Matt Maloney got to stay with the company. So when that purchase was agreed upon, this article came out where Uber was exasperated. So Uber come out that they were exasperated, I guess upset or confused, and in that article, once again linked in the description below, they were confused because their offer was apparently, according to Uber, much more substantial than that of Just Eat Takeaway. So some time has passed, and all of a sudden these 14 lawsuits come out of fucking nowhere, stating that GrubHub hid financial information from their stockholders, investors, and they only took the Just Eat Takeaway deal for their own financial gain, which I interpreted that as Matt Maloney got to remain in the CEO seat of GrubHub. It would not surprise me to find out that Uber has everything in the world to do with this. But that's just an assumption. The fact that they were exasperated is kind of what leads me to land that theory. So every gig-tuber that I follow that has ran a report on this seems to be frowning at GrubHub over this, looking down at GrubHub, disappointed in GrubHub over this. And that to me don't make a lick of sense, because Just Eat Takeaway was going to do nothing but improve GrubHub. GrubHub's payouts are always the better payouts, people. So Just Eat Takeaway was going to come in and pretty much keep GrubHub together in all of its glory. Now, I don't care what people think. Matt Maloney, in my opinion, is a damn good CEO, especially when you put him beside Uber and Doordash and all the rest. No other gig economy company would come out and guarantee a $10 minimum. Folks, in my opinion, number one, this lawsuit being filed against GrubHub, I can't see them going through with it. I think the court is going to throw them out. They're trying to force GrubHub to take the better deal, and the only other deal on the table that I'm aware of is the Uber deal. The Uber deal is paying just a little bit more, and the shareholders are like, hey, we're not going to sell to this company for less just so you can remain CEO, is what I'm gathering. Like I said, links are in the description below. I encourage everybody to go and read these articles for yourself, and if I am wrong or I am not interpreting any of this right, by all means correct me. I want to know. But I've studied this for 5 days now, and I wanted to do this video like the day of, but I kept on reading different news articles about different things, and I wanted to make sure I had the puzzle completed enough to where you can at least make out what it's going to do before it's finished. Folks, if these investors cause GrubHub to sell to Uber because there's more money in it, kiss GrubHub goodbye. 100%. Look what just happened to Postmates. Uber bought Postmates, and I don't know why they bothered, because I know there's a whole bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes that none of us will ever know. The same fate will be applied to GrubHub if Uber absorbs GrubHub. I promise with everything in my heart that Uber will tear the GrubHub corporation completely apart, strip it down, and remove one more competitor from the gig economy. And the way things are set right now, competition is most certainly good for business. Where GrubHub shines, at least the offers that GrubHub is putting out are better than the rest, 100%. But guys, this is a nightmare scenario for me, as everybody knows that follows this channel. I love GrubHub, and I hope that Matt Maloney gets to remain CEO. I hope Just Eat's Takeaway winds up victorious in this scenario and gets to merge with GrubHub just to improve it and keep it going. Well, one can only wish, because I know with all my heart if Uber grabs a hold of GrubHub, 6 months down the road, GrubHub will be gone, because Uber's already got Uber Eats. Uber's already got a CEO. They've already got everything. The only reason I can think that they would want to purchase GrubHub is to take them out of the gig economy. Imagine a world where Nintendo did not exist. Imagine that world where there's just Xbox and PlayStation. I know that's not a good scenario because Nintendo don't really compete with those anymore, but imagine, if you will, taking Xbox out of the game and there's just Sony, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Everybody's screaming up a storm about the DRM policies. It would be a nightmare at that point. You know, when there's a monopoly, you know, and who's not to say that Uber could actually buy GrubHub, take them out of the gig economy, and strike a deal with Doordash to set certain prices and certain standards. But yeah, GrubHub changed my life, and I did shed a tear when I found out they sold. But when I researched Just Eat Takeaway to find out what kind of company that GrubHub was going to, I was a little bit relieved, because they seemed just as genuine and honest and good as GrubHub already was. I'm not big on change, so I definitely want to see Matt Maloney remain with GrubHub. I like his algorithm, I like his way of thinking, and nothing good is going to come from Uber acquiring GrubHub. Everybody can look down on GrubHub for this all they want, but the fact remains, and I think everybody knows it, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you love Matt Maloney, you will love GrubHub, or you hate Matt Maloney, you hate GrubHub. Uber purchasing GrubHub will change GrubHub forever, whereas Just Eat Takeaway will keep GrubHub going forever. And that's my take. That's what I hope happens. Matt Maloney, I hope you fight this. I sincerely hope you fight this. I hope you're victorious. I hope you remain CEO. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I don't really think that there's going to be a single shot in hell that this lawsuit is going to go forward and succeed. I just don't. I couldn't imagine a court to force a company out of a deal that they're already in and sell to another company. I just couldn't imagine a court doing that, but there's a first time for everything. But when you're dealing with companies these sizes, it's hard to say, but I think I personally don't see where these investors have a single leg to stand on. It was their job to look into this, research it, and make decisions before finalizing it. Maybe the investors are regretting the takeover. Maybe they're regretting agreeing to the merger, and Uber is in the background whispering in their ear saying, hey, if you stop this, I'll make you a better deal, or something like that. That's my take on the whole situation. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. It makes me nervous, because if these lawsuits actually go through, GrubHub is gone. This is Gig Ready reminding you that life is truly stranger than fiction, and ignorance is bliss.